And we're going to move on to our next panel. Childhood obesity has tripled in the past 30 years. 1 out of every 3 children is overweight or at risk of being overweight. Our first set of panelists have focused their energies and talents on sending out the wake-up call for youth. Mr. Tom Root, the founder and CEO of HOPSports Incorporated, has been a promoter of NFL Play 60 campaign, a mentor of the President's Council, a major sponsor of the Global Forum for Physical Education, Pedagogy. Thank you. At Grundy Center, Iowa, Mr. Tom Root from HOPSports.
Thank you, everybody. Again, great job, Seth. It's nice to see former athletes out there and doing great things for the community. So thank you for all you're doing for kids. We really need it today. As you well know, with all of our kids. And Julie and Robin, thank you again for setting this up. You've done a wonderful job putting this forum on. I think it's so important. You know, as we know, childhood obesity is just an epidemic at proportionate scales that we're not controlling at any level. What's wonderful about this conference is it's the first time that technology is really looking at being the savior of our physical education problem instead of actually, or the solution instead of being the problem. So it's really great to see everybody in here, and you know, being in the industry now for 30 years, it's nice to see that technology is really going to be our friend. So again, thank you everybody for coming out. We got the first slide. So again, as everybody knows, it's in the news every day. Constantly, whether it's CNBC, NBC, it's practically in every single article out there because it's having such an impact on us globally and economically. The state of California just released their latest statistics for 2010. 12% of every dollar in the state of California went to fight type 2 diabetes. At $17,000 a year for treating patients, you can imagine the impact that's going to have. Now remember, we say type 2 diabetes, we're talking about a disease we can cure with exercise and nutrition. So we're talking about 12% of every medical treatment in the state of California is treating a disease that we can fight with exercise and nutrition. So it's good to see that the news is getting that information out there. I mean, you know, as everybody's seen the slide, we're facing it at just enormous proportion. This is only a 6-year-old kid. So you can see that we now in Texas have 10% of the kids under the age of 6 now are already starting to have type 2 diabetes. So it's something that we weren't even looking at till a 50 or 60-year-old. Now we're looking at kids under the age of 10 facing type 2 diabetes. This is actually my favorite slide with the World Health Organization. Without looking at the slide, anybody know what the fastest growing obesity is now? South Central China. So South Central China is now passing the United States as the fastest growing obesity country. And when you're looking at 1 billion people, that is going to have a huge impact on their culture. The highest type 2 diabetes is not even in the United States anymore. It's in Singapore. So now when we're looking at diabetes and we're looking at obesity, we're not looking at as a United States problem, we are looking at it as a global problem. And it is a problem we are all going to have to join forces on. You know, who's to blame? We probably say everybody. You know, at some point we've all probably given our kids a time on a PlayStation machine or, you know, introduced them to a 64-ounce soda. I think sometimes we don't realize, and that's one of the transitions that China has. For most of us that are over 40 in here, we had a nice transition with McDonald's. You probably remember your first hamburger was a little hamburger, small fries, and a 12-ounce Coke was sufficient. Not today anymore. China jumped immediately into the 32-ounce sodas, the double bacon cheeseburgers, and the large fries. So they went without that 20-year transition to having cars and caloric intakes of meal, sometimes over 2,000 calories per meal. So when you're taking that into account of what's happening today, that's a staggering number. So really, you know, it's really up to all of us. So while we can always blame everybody, we can also take responsibility. So I think what's great that as much as that we probably all promoted some of the problem, what's wonderful is that we can all share in fixing the problem. So I want to show a little bit of video I've been very fortunate in my life. I've been a trainer in the kids industry for almost 30 years. I'm a trainer on all the kids shows you probably see, Saved by the Bell, Seventh Heaven, George Lopez show. And I also oversee all 338 stuntmen in Hollywood. So I get there prepared to jump off buildings, kind of do what Seth does, flying down the mountain at 70 miles an hour. Make a good stuntman. So, give you my card at the end. So I'm going to show you a little bit of video. I've been very fortunate in terms of what we're doing with green screens, motion capture, 3D worlds, how we're layering out the channels and streaming this content all over the world. So, do I just click on here?